From Studio 3 at Buzz TV, it's The Horse's Mouth with Tom McManus.
Hi, time once again for The Horse's Mouth here at Tommy Mac's, of course, at my bar, where everybody's welcome to have a seat and tell their story, what they're doing out here in the market and beyond. Brought to our good friends at Hot Springs Spas of Jacksonville. Great to have them on board. It's game changer time, and we're going to talk a little entrepreneurship, if that's even a word, but I think it is. And we're talking about operating systems within that world, and that's our guest today. It's Branden Barkema from Entrepreneurial Operating System, or EOS. Let's say hi to Branden. Branden, how are you, my man?
Pleasure.
That's a mouthful, let me tell you. EOS is a lot better.
Yes,
absolutely.
I agree.
Tell us about the EOS system that you got going on.
I'll do my best. So yes, EOS stands for Entrepreneurial Operating System. Good job. So I know you're a football guy, and so the way I like to describe it is think of it like a proven operating playbook for entrepreneurial businesses.
Okay.
Yep.
So the founder was a gentleman that was an entrepreneur, is an entrepreneur, and then said, hey, I learned some things. Some things were good, some things were not good. I learned from, I think I'm going to start putting something together. And that's the basis of where the whole thing came together from, right?
Yeah, you're right. Well, I think you're an entrepreneur, right? So usually that's like a highly sophisticated version of throwing mud against the wall to see what works, right? So Gino Wickman's his name. He's one of the founders, and he was brought in some years ago to help run his family business that was struggling. They turned that around. He liked doing that so much that eventually he said, the stuff that worked, how can we turn this into something that's going to help other entrepreneurial businesses?
Absolutely.
And fast forward some time, that's why we have EOS.
Yeah. I'll tell you what, so as I mentioned off air, I'm an entrepreneur. My wife is as well. I think for me, it's more on the organizational side, like my scheduling. Hey, although I do my best, but having that better. And I think for my wife, it would probably be more the financial side of running the business, the P&L, the day-to-day, revenue and expenses type thing. So what else would EOS bring to the table?
Yeah, so great question. We focus on, kind of from an alignment perspective, we focus on these three things with businesses, and those are vision, traction, and healthy.
Okay.
Vision is this concept that you got to get everybody in your organization, starting with the leadership team, on the same page with where the company is going and how you're going to get there.
Yep.
The traction component is building discipline and accountability in the organization so that everybody is executing on the vision. Yep. And then the healthy component, particularly with the leadership team, is getting to be a more cohesive, fun, love to be around each other team. Because if that's true, then the same is certainly true in my experience with the rest of the organization.
Right. Well, Liam Cohen, our new head coach, is going to have to be dealing with a lot of that.
I think you're right.
All right, so we understand that side of it. What about the emotional side, the mental and emotional side, right? The grit, the perseverance. Because every entrepreneur, you know them as well, they'll tell you, hey, I had more losses than I did hits. My hits are great. I'm doing great off them. But you have no idea how many losses that I've been through and learned a lot from those losses.
Yeah, that's a great thought. And I think I mentioned you too, my dad was a 35-plus year small business owner.
Yeah.
I got a front row seat to that. I certainly was a front row seat to some of the losses too, right? But I think, the clients that we work with, there's some similarities, and I'll just kind of talk about a couple, right? I think, a lot of these business owners are founders, so they had this idea, they had this service, they had this thing that they wanted to do, and they're doing that. Eventually, if they have success, the business kind of grows around them, and they're not so sure what they're doing or if they're doing it right. There's a lot, you said the emotional side, there's probably a lot of insecurity, right? I don't know what to do. I think the beauty of EOS, I'll kind of use a funny Staples commercial from the past, as you can remember the Staples easy button, right? The easy button of EOS can come in, and it helps simplify and clarify so much stuff that so much more of that emotion can be taken out of it.
Well, it makes total sense, because look, I don't know how all entrepreneurs are, but I'm an idea I believe, create, I hustle. That's my tagline in my email. Believe, create, hustle your ass off, right? That's the world I live in. So I get that, but the implementation, the operate, that's where you guys come in. I can see how that could fit a lot of people. Now, what types of business? Did you say you're agnostic? Did I hear that before you?
Yeah, great question.
Before the air.
We are industry agnostic.
Okay.
So work with any type of industry, obviously. But we do have a little bit of a sweet spot in terms of the size and scale of businesses we work with.
Okay.
Low end of that would be 10 employee businesses. High end of that would be 250 employee businesses.
10 to 250.
Yeah, we tend to focus on the employee range because it's industry agnostic, right? So
Absolutely.
revenue thresholds can be wildly across the board.
How about the onboarding part of it, Branden? Is it? I don't want to say easy. Is it simplified for the user? Is it take some time, to get everything aligned and implemented into the system?
Yeah. In essence, yes. And that's really where my role as an implementer comes in.
Okay.
Right. So,
okay.
We go through a process. Clients are typically with me for about 2 years on average.
Yep.
Okay. And so we lay, and we go by session days. So on average, I'm with a client, depending on when we start in the year, between 5 and 7 sessions a year.
Okay.
First 60 days, we front load 3 sessions, and that's a lot of our vision building component of it. So we're laying a foundation there. And then our goal is to get our clients, these businesses, into a 90-day world, as we call it, so that they're doing some planning and execution simultaneously, and I'm coming back in to review things with them, build up their mastery, and keep the ball rolling.
I like that, with accountability. That's the best. Well, sports is business and is life on this show, for sure. Now, you a Jaguar fan? What are you, sports fan?
I am a sports fan.
Okay. What's your favorite sport?
I'm a football guy.
Okay.
I've come to appreciate the Jags being here in Jacksonville since we moved down here, but I do have to admit that I'm a long-term, still recovering Detroit Lions fan.
Okay. So, yeah. Good run, though. We'll see how they bounce back. All right.
See.
So I'll ask you this, since it's Game Changers time, brought to you by Hot Spring Spas. Who is the biggest, or what is the biggest game changer in sports today?
Biggest game changer.
Or football. We can break it down to football.
I would say it's culture. And I think I can mention the Detroit Lions in that respect, and I think that's a place that the Jags want to be too. Yep. I think having a culture built around a vision is the game changer.
Having the right players that believe in that culture that fit the vision.
Yep, absolutely.
Right? All right, Branden, great to have you on the show, man. Great job.
Appreciate it.
Awesome. Keep up the great work. You can check out Branden's profile, this conversation, and thousands of others that we do right here at Tommy Max. You can catch it all at the dailynewsnetwork.com website. Till next time, you stay safe out there and be cool. And we'll see you right here on the Horse's Mouth. Cheers.